Hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm a spokesperson for Safe Surfing Foundation. It is my job and my mission ever since I was 13 to help educate our youth on the dangers of online predators on the internet, and also to educate our youth and the parents on how to be safe and taking proper precautions while surfing the internet daily. When I was 13, my mom and dad brought home our first family computer. It was something really neat that we had never had in our home before. We were excited to explore the options that we now had at our fingertips. One day, I was on the internet and came across a website that our school had set up for everyone in our grades from 6 to 8. It was an area where we were able to talk about homework, sports, and other highlights that were going on with our friends. I got really excited that everybody was coming together. We started our own chat room that we could all just talk about everything, our families, our friends, school, anything that bothered us that day. That afternoon, I got an instant message. I didn't know who the person was, so of course I asked, "Hi, who are you? How do you know us?" And they just kind of came across saying, "I'm a friend of somebody you know." So of course, being a kid and knowing how cool it was to have more people on our friend list, I of course said, "Okay, I'll be your friend." We started chatting and becoming great friends. I felt like this was a person that I could really come to know and could trust. Little by little, he started asking me questions about myself and I about him. He told me he was a boy from the beach, and I told him that I was from a small city. And then he told me he played football. I told him about my soccer team and how we played games every week and practiced, and that my jersey number was number 5. He told me his football jersey was number 5 as well. So then we had another common bond. The more we started talking, he started asking me more questions, but I didn't think much of it. Like, "What's your school colors?" "Mine are red and black." So of course I said, "Well, mine are black and silver. How neat. Those would go great together." So we just formed a great friendship, and it was really nice. Little did I know that that person on the other side of the computer screen was a grown adult. His profile had all the signs of being a 14-year-old teenager, just like we were. He played football, soccer, had friends, went to the mall, went to the beach, and surfed. Everything that we only dreamed that we could do, but we didn't live at the beach. He talked like we did. He had pictures of a younger gentleman that could have been a teenager, and he really played the game well. This stranger drove 4.5 hours and found out my routine. He knew where I lived, where I went to school. He knew when I got off the bus and when my parents went to work. He knew everything about me, even down to where my practices were for soccer and cheerleading. He would drive back and forth to learn these routines like the back of his hand. Then, one Sunday afternoon, it was a day that changed my life. My mom and I woke up to go to church like every Sunday, and we decided to have lunch and go shopping afterwards. I quickly reminded her on our way to the mall that I had to be at a babysitting job soon after, and that we couldn't be too long. After my mother and I finished lunch, we went home. I changed clothes and began to walk to my next babysitting job. As I was walking down the road, I noticed a green truck following me. Before I knew it, he stopped, rolled down his window, and asked if I was Amanda. Before I could answer, he opened the door and threw me in. I was frozen, in shock, and completely terrified. He then took me to a local hotel where this online predator held me for hours against my will. I was brutally raped, assaulted, and I didn't know if I would ever go home again. After being held captive for 5.5 hours, this online predator dropped me off on the side of the road where my mother and the police were waiting. The police gave chase and caught him at the end of the cul-de-sac where they made the arrest. After my abduction, I felt alone and lost. I didn't think I would ever be the same again. I blamed myself, and I blamed my parents. But deep down, it wasn't our fault. It was the predator's fault. I was lucky. Many kids don't make it home after an experience like that. For the past 14 years, I've made it my life mission to work with the Safe Surfing Foundation to help educate today's kids and their parents about the dangers that lurk on the internet. Please join me and the Safe Surfing Foundation to help educate our children so that what happened to me will never happen to another child again.